Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Smite Pro League European Edition, game number 2. It is Exposed Secrets vs. SK Gaming. I'm hi-rez Bard. That's hi-rez Drybear, and we are moments away from being in the picking and banning phase between these two teams. SK, one of the oldest teams in esports, competitive esports, especially in the European scene. Exposed Secrets, a community team coming together and looking to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, they certainly are. SK, of course, this is their chance, right? Because coming off the first game of the first day of the first Smite Pro League ever, they got turned around on by C9. I mean, they had 13,000 gold in the lead, and then C9 in the last second took it away from them. So now that's their second chance, right? This is their second game of the Pro League. They're saying, you know what? We're going against Exposed Secrets. They like to do weird things. We're probably not going to ban as general as we usually like to. Just get rid of the key targets and then just play it safe, play it good, get that victory, and move on out. We know they got a lot of talent, right? Reels kicking butt all day long, so we'll see if he can keep it going. Definitely, Captain Twig, of course. Captain Twig, incredibly high in the stats himself, doing very, very well as far as I believe he's actually... Where is he?
Where is he?
Where is he?
We will find out shortly. But Exposed Secrets, a team coming together a little bit newer than some of the other names.
Third in player damage. Second in player damage is Reels. Third in player damage is Captain Twig.
Reels and Captain Twig, both in the top 5 of all players. And most of the top players in the top 10 are European players. So by and large so far, Europe putting out more damage than their North American counterparts. But looking at the teams today, Exposed Secrets, as we mentioned, a team that you may have heard of if you've been around competitive Smite for about the last year. Funballer and Shadow Nightmare, both former members of the original Coast team. And they kind of have come back together now, and it's up to Shadow Nightmare to show us as he still got it. He was fairly dominant at one point as a mid laner using very non-conventional picks.
Yeah, the qualifiers up into the launch tournament is actually when he was his best. Yeah, it was his prime shape. He did like Freya mid, he did Bastet mid, a lot of weird things, but played very, very well. Since then, he hasn't really been the same. Here's a weird thing, right? I mean, look at the stats right now. Funballer is the only player doing well on the side of Exposed Secrets. Shadow Nightmare currently is 0.7 KDA. He's in the bottom 3 for KDA overall. Not really doing that well. Across the board, everyone on Exposed Secrets is underperforming except for Funballer, who's the only one who's able to get any damage out and get a good kill-death ratio. The other thing as well, I mean, they tried something really weird yesterday. They kind of picked around, tried some different things. They ran Odin Zeus.
Yeah, the Odin Zeus.
And it could work, but not against the team they were going against.
Yeah, I mean, that can always work. I mean, we saw as far back as notably Reason Gaming using that strat at a PAX tournament many years ago, and it working for them. But yeah, I mean, that wall them in and use the Zeus wombo combo style of play. It's just so execution dependent. And when you're a team just coming together, is that what you should be going after? Teams that are super highly execution dependent, not going for the individual skill and using that as what you're trying to springboard off of a burst style of team, which has been so popular so far in the Pro League. Burst meta, if you will, has been very, very I guess at the forefront of what we've seen the teams going for and picking and banning for primarily.
Right. Well, what we're kind of moving into now is more like the team fight and late game style characters. I mean, regardless of what you can do in the early game, it seems like most teams have figured out how to make it to the mid game, and so now they're building characters that either have a very strong late game or have a very strong team fight together. And those seems to be the teams that are winning. We saw that yesterday in the Snipe match. Every single time Snipe tried to fight, they didn't have a very good lineup for team. I mean, Thirst every single time, they had a better team fight. And Snipe, even though they were winning 3,000 gold in the lead, by the time they started to fight in large groups, Thirst just won every fight. And then Snipe finally fell behind. They couldn't come back into it. Just who can make the team fight work?
I am looking at, a picking and banning stage breaking out here, ladies and gentlemen, so let's go ahead and hop into that. It's going to be on the left side of your screen. The boys from Exposed Secrets. The right side will be SK Gaming.
Exposed Secrets on the left side, and of course, SK Gaming on the right side. Looking at their standard picks right now, so far, Exposed Secrets has banned Loki, Habwa, and Ull, so they do not like those hyper carries. The first ban today is going to be a Nuwa. I imagine Habwa or Loki would be their next Habwa ban, so I guess it's going to be Loki. I mean, this is how they ban. They don't like hyper carries. There's a Loki pick. Very standard Exposed Secrets for them. Habwa pick for SK. SK picks a little bit differently as far as how they ban. Nuwa, Zhongkui, Apollo, all big bans for SK. Zhongkui might be a big ban here since they're not going to be the first pick going through. Mercury's still available as well to see what they want to go with.
Ooh. It's going to be tough. It's the final ban coming out here, and they will ban away that Mercury that you were mentioning, Drybear. Oh, so clever are you. And looks like we're going to see Zhongkui be available and likely first picked here by Exposed Secrets, even after being nerfed It looks like Zhang Kui has climbed his way back to where he once was as that top pick, top ban in Europe.
Oh man, he's been nerfed, banned every which way, and John Quay is stuck through it all to come out as a first pick, first ban character here. So he's gonna be picked in. As far as SK goes, they generally like to pick something a little more standard here. Now Geb and Athena's both available right now. We'll see if they decide to try to steal that away from Exposed Secrets. But how do you pick and ban against Exposed Secrets? Obviously, you take away the hyper carries. Mercury, Hubble, they did that. Loki's gone, so now they don't really have to worry about. I mean, they got Freya on the board still, so maybe worried about them being taken away. They ran it yesterday with Exposed Secrets, so we'll see. But Funballer ran the Freya Hunter, so it's just, what do you do?
Looking at SK, though, they're going to take Aphrodite for Maniac, one of
Smart.
his top gods for the solo lane. They're going to give Rom over to the side of Reels, one of his best gods as well. So taking two very, very high priority picks for themselves.
Beck?
Is SK Gaming. Taking a look at Beck, but I can't imagine that they're going to.
I don't think they will
Okay, that seems to be more likely. And Uller, who's been very popular, especially in Europe as a top pick, as well for Dignitas, taking him pretty early on in drafts here. But Uller being taken a look at here, and they need a third god to round it out. They got to be thinking Geb or Athena at this point. And we'll see what they do. Elect to lock in, likely in that support role coming in next here. My guess would be the Geb, but
It's going to be the Beck.
wow, they are going to take the Sobek.
Wow. Now, granted, going into yesterday before the matches, Sobek was the highest GPM god in the game, just because that one match that was played, Sobek did so incredibly
in the
well.
solo,
so
yeah.
we'll see how it works out. I mean, across the way, SK's got one more pick to make. Do they decide to go for the supporter? They've already got Aphrodite. They got to be feeling good about that. We saw yesterday how effective Aphrodite could actually be and how hard it is to deal with her, just because the heals are so immense. One more selection here. They're going to pick up probably a support, I would imagine, just to lock it out. I mean, Sobek's already there.
Yeah, it gives
but
them the
they don't wanna
opportunity to
ban
be
it out.
really aggressive in
There it
in
is.
the banning phase. Yeah, so they'll take the Geb here, and they can risk it and say, okay, look, they're going to put the Sobek in the solo lane. Let's ban out the Athena and force them into another support pick, and they're going to put that Zhang Kui mid, but they can still always, of course, put that Sobek in the support role now that with Zhang Kui there. So yeah, it looks like we're not sure. Sobek is so often picked that it looks like he has broken his own video there.
It's a reminder, just like, hey guys, he actually got picked. But look at the stats right now. He is the second highest god in the SPL so far in GPM. He has 519 GPM. The only player, or only god that is beating him right now is Vamana. In the last game Sobek was played, he went 3-0-11. So that is going to be a huge game for him, and obviously a lot of merit there. Al Guang's going to be banned away here. SK is going to miss that one. That's a shot out at Captain Twig. He plays such a fantastic Al Guang. And then Serket goes away. So pretty much every major bursty assassin is gone, and they're going to settle with Nemesis.
Okay, so they take the Nemesis, nice control, able to nuke down people's protection. Should be good against that Zhang Kui. You always want to try to match a Nemesis with a Zhang Kui or make sure that he can't be taken because he can't steroid his protection so high. Her ultimate very, very effective against him or used in conjunct with him. Exec taking a note here from the boys of Cloud9 and, of course, SK, and they're going to be looking at a Thanatos as their bursting jungler, and they are taking the Athena as well, potentially here, taking a look at her, which means we will be seeing the solo lane Zalia Sobek most likely here for Exposed Secrets. SK with their final pick coming through momentarily here. They are still needing their mid laner, and they have a lot of options, including Giannis.
Giannis, definitely a big pickup for Captain Twig. He runs Chalk as well, but Giannis has got to be the choice you make here. I mean, you look at the characters across the way, especially against the Thanatos. Giannis is so darn good. I mean, you can avoid everything he does. Portal away, you can portal on the ground as he's landing and avoid the hit, of course. A lot of things that Giannis can do against it, so I think he's going to be picking up, and indeed it is. There goes SK picking up Giannis here. But I think what's so great about this lineup is you're going to be running a Frostiak Thanatos this time around, and conjunct this with, of course, the High Rock Thanatos last game. Frostiak's much more aggressive and also much more mobile, and so as a player he just likes to be in fights, which fits Thanatos overall. We'll see if he decides to go for the heavy hammer build. Obviously, last time we saw Sobek performed incredibly well, 3-0-11, so we'll see if Zalia can do it again. But again, Exposed did not record a win yesterday, so this is their chance. SK, I mean, both these teams are going into this 0-1.
Right, they both need their first win. They're both looking for that first one,
That's
both hungry certainly here. Giannis is selected for Twig. We'll see how he does with it. We haven't seen too much Giannis out of him to date, but you got to feel good about Reels on Rom there. Very strong god for him. And you got to like having a Geb against a Sobek. Charge Prey going to be very difficult to actually pull off, it seems like. And when you look over at Exposed Secrets, that's one place that they are maybe missing a little bit here. The Athena, really their only AoE CC. They do have a couple single targets.
Sure.
In the axe, and Zhang Kui's number 3 every once in a while as well. Sobek tail whipping here, but I actually do have quite a bit of AoE CC as I say that there. But the Geb shield will be able to prevent a lot of that on a single target, of course. The knockups that they do have in Sobek, though, should be pretty valuable if they can get targets airborne.
Well, airborne is important, and that allows you to get a lot of vision over the air. So Rom exactly can do that, and we saw last game how effective it can be with Moax playing that Rom. The snipes can make a lot of damage, and actually bring the team fight a little bit closer to home in the way that when it starts out, Rom can go up the air, become invulnerable, hit some targets, get the splash damage out, and then come back down. They've also got Giannis on the team to combo with that big burst damage. So speaking of SK game, let's see the full lineup here to see who's playing this match. If you aren't familiar with the players, we've got the full lineup here. Maniac, a little bit newer to the scene, but definitely coming out very strong. This is a player we haven't really seen too much of in the competitive scene, but we've seen enough of him in the pre-competitive scene, ranked matches, scrimming with people, being a stand-in. Next to him, of course, is going to be Captain Twig. A little bit lower than we expect. I mean, 0-5 and 14, uncharacteristic for Captain Twig, but he plays very well in mid lane. A lot of damage there. Reels is the man, though. 6.3 KDA in the center, playing Hunter, 497 GPM. Not the highest, but definitely very, very much up there as far as kills go. Then damage dealt, Captain Twig and Reels do the most out of the top three in all of SPL so far. Badja is going to be playing support there. You can see him 3.0 KDA and 432 GPM. A lot of assists to his name as well, tied for Captain Twig at 14. And then, of course, next to him, their jungler Zeros, 5.2 and 8, 4.5 KDA and 434 GPM. He's a little bit newer as far as he hasn't been on a standard roster as long, but he's definitely a top player.
Yeah, and has really brought Thanatos back into the game. Usually when you see a player that revolutionizes how a god is played, they tend to have a long and very fruitful career. We'll see if this is just the beginning of the era of Zeros. But moving across to their opponents, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be Exposed Secrets with that EXPS logo there. Taking over the screen, let's take a look at their roster here. Zalia, the solo lane. Can't really say enough about Zalia's kind of competitive history. One of those players that has brought gods into the meta, as we mentioned, being a big factor in as an indicator for their success. Bakasura in the solo lane, something for Zalia, and looking to maybe make a name for himself on Sobek as well. Shadow Nightmare in the mid lane, still looking to really have a good breakout game, sitting at 1-5 in his first game. Funball having a nice game for Exposed Secrets in the last matchup there, going 3-1 in the hunting role. Pendavion still struggling to make his mark felt, although he did top the team in assists out of the Guardian role, and with a 1.0 KDA, not so bad. And Frostic out of the jungle, a very, very strong player, still looking also to really make his mark. Exposed Secret's really looking for that one good game to get themselves going, I feel like.
Well, you can see with the stats on the screen there, I mean, they don't really have a lot of good scores except for Funball, who's 3-1 and 3. I mean, you can see 0.7 KDI in Shadow Nightmare, not a good look for him. Zalia not recording a single assist, and a lot of that just comes down to the fact that he was able to kind of get in there and get some good damage. He was on the solo island, so, you know, it's hard to say that they're able to kind of translate into the match in general, just because, you know, 1.3, 1.0, 0.7, 1.3. I mean, majority of KDAs are, you know, over 2.0, so they're very much under that threshold here. Funballer being the one who's performing well, but that's kind of been Funball's career. I mean, he double stacks a lot. He likes to get Devour's Gauntlet, he likes to get the Heartseeker, he likes to get in there and get the extra damage, and I think he plays well with the lineup that he has on his team. He just plays for mid-game. He says, guys, I know things are going to be rough in the early game. I'm going to play it hard and get to mid-game and just come out and start shooting arrows, doing tons of damage there, so a little bit tough there. But, you know, I'm excited to see if either of these teams could get a strong win. SK, of course, obviously reeling after that comeback victory from C9.
Yeah, they got you know, but they have had a day. You know, at least it's not like a tournament style where they get that first loss and now they're in the bottom side of a bracket after getting turned around on a 13K lead. So, you know, they have had some time to think about it, and they are an experienced team. They should be able to bounce back here, and they've got a pretty nice lineup for themselves as well, looking at the screen here. We do, looks like, have a pause in the early stage of the game, which is the delay here in getting into it. We're going to go ahead and let that one run out, I imagine. So, for all of you just joining us, there's plenty of stuff going on around the Smite community, the namesake of which is coming up here in just a few hours. At 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to have the debut of the Smite Showcase with hi-rez Kelly and Andy. And you guys can enjoy that. Also known as hi-rez Spielberg, I think is his Reddit name.
Spielberg.
He's a man of many names, and as you can
Smite
see there,
Showcase.
the Smite Showcase is up next. So do stick around for that, guys, if you are interested in catching some more wonderful Smite community information. And there's also the Smite SPL picture contest. You can email your pictures in. Look for that on the blogs and on Reddit information there. All kinds of fun stuff going on in the community. Anything else, Stripe? I mean, I know
we also have
got plenty of community tournaments.
So the way the Odyssey works, right, is there's going to be 21 items, technically 22, but 21 is the progression. There's going to be a free bonus item at the end that you can purchase, but 21 items total. So if you buy 21 items in the Odyssey, you get a bonus exclusive item. This is going to be a community drafted skin. So we're basically polling the community to say, what would you guys like? I mean, what kind of skin are you waiting for? Are you looking for? Myself and Bart are both judges in the preemptory selection of these skins.
I
so
definitely am judging
tweet us out any ideas you have. We've had tons of them so far. There's a lot of ideas floating around the community. So if you want to be part of the selection of this skin, tweet us something. At the sort of next week, we're going to make the selection, and we're going to shoot out to the artist and say, draw something. Make us something cool. Let's see it.
That's right, yeah. So you get an opportunity not only to nominate a god, but then the next step of the process, as you mentioned, is going to be send in your idea for what it should be, and then we select the official idea, and we start getting the concept art from the community, seeing how people do execute it. So definitely looking forward to the next month playing out here. Looks like the pause is going to be the maximum duration pause coming up from XSec here. So, or I'm sorry, yeah, it is Exposed Secrets. So you get to see more of our wonderful faces and hear a little bit more about exactly what we think about this next matchup here. If you are just joining us, guys, this is game number 2 of the European Smite Pro League. North America will start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on this channel is when the coverage starts with the pregame show. Let's take a look here at the standings overall so far, though, at EUSPL. Mortality Esports 2-0, Cloud9 HyperX 2-1, Team Coast Blue at 1-0, and as we mentioned, SK Gaming and Exposed Secrets both looking to get their first win so far today. TSM with 2 losses already under their belt. Tough for them to get that going. I really should just sit like this. I have it about that.
All right, we just like lean back like this.
This is actually pretty comfortable.
This is great. Look at that.
The lean back.
ESPL standings 2-0, Mortality 2-0 or 2-1, Cloud9 HyperX are still in second place, but of course SK is now playing their game. They're looking to end this game 1-1. The same thing goes for Exposed Secrets, of course. Team Solo mid, and here's the interesting part, right? They're 0-2, and it's not like they had the worst lineup in the world. And obviously, they went up against C9, not in the beginning. Yesterday, and before that, they went up against Mortality. So Mortality 2-0, C9 2-0 or 2-1. The two teams that have won twice already. TSM falling to them. So we'll see what they can do. I mean, they're playing tomorrow against SK, so TSM really has to try to figure out. They're watching. They have to be watching right now. See what SK does, and try to figure out how they can beat them tomorrow.
Yeah, TSM, looking forward. That's a good point. Looking forward to tomorrow, and can TSM get it together? Because at 0-2, any top team that starts losing games consecutively in a row starts to wonder, do they still got it, I think. And TSM, they seem to be a pretty,
there's a lot of games to go,
guys, but they got to go through SK tomorrow to get their first win, and SK not a pushover.
We've got 7 weeks of the SPL. There's a lot of games to go here, so they may be turning it around, but the question is, what is it that's making them fall apart? And realistically, it seems like for TSM specifically, it's underperformance across the board. I mean, it seems like no one on their team is really hitting that stride. Whereas you look at other notable teams, the dynasties like Team Dignitas, it's more individual aspects that you can pick apart and actually see visibly with your eyes. Whereas for TSM, it seems like they're just not at the level that they're supposed to be at. But speaking of another dynasty team, Cognitive Prime came out yesterday and showed their stuff. But that's going to be it, guys. We're hopping to the match and finally getting ready to go with this lineup here. Exposed Secrets is going to be up against SK Gaming here. Let's go to introduce your teams. The bottom side about the green grass, Defenders of the Titans of Order. You got Exposed Secrets. If you're a fan, give it up in chat, give it up at home, and give it up out loud for your team. Shadow Nightmare is going to be playing Jung Kuei with that diamond skin. Behind him is Frostiak on Thanatos. You've got Zalia playing Sobek in the solo lane. You've got Pandivion on Athena, and in the very, very back, Funballer is playing Ul.
Their opponents are going to be the red team at the top side of the minimap and the right side of the spectator UI. Defending and fighting for the Chaos Titan, it is SK Gaming. You're going to have Reels matching up with Badja in the duo lane as Aram and Geb. Zeros will be your jungle as Nemesis. Captain Twig in the mid on Giannis, and Maniac in the solo lane as Aphrodite. And we've seen Aphrodite do so many great things, right? I mean, she's just so hard to deal with from a perspective of a team player, and you realize that the heals are huge. So, look at the lineup here for Exposed Secrets. You've got some decent bursts. I think the biggest thing that they have against the Aphrodite is the Thanatos. That percentage-based execution is going to make a big difference for a sustained lineup that includes Aphrodite. So we'll see if Frostia can get going enough to have that huge burst of Death Scythe ultimate, bring him down to low, and then just execute him right then and there. Zalia and Shadow Nightmare are going to take out the mid camp here. No funny business starting from either team. They're just going to start standard. A decent amount of wards come out from either team as well. A good defensive ward from SK. More teams are catching on to the invasion on the blue at solo lane on the side of Destroy, but they're just warding it every time. Yeah, and they really should be. I mean, I think as this game continues to progress and mature, that you're going to see those early wards becoming more and more important. It used to be that you wouldn't see much of it at all, and then you started seeing the Guardians running out and warding around the Gold Fury area very early on, recalling, and now we've kind of gone, full circle.
Full circle indeed, and this is what we're holding on to here. Left side being very aggressive. Funballer and Pandavion keeping this up towards the tower. Badger dropping really low already. The blue buff did go to Reels here, so they definitely got the buff secured, but at what cost? Badger at 300 HP right now.
That's a lot to give up in the early stage of the game, but the blue buff will help him out quite a bit continuing forward. It's one of those things where if he's able to just continue his lane presence here and keep his burst up on Uller, and which basically means staying at parity in levels against Reels, he should be okay, but already at the experience disadvantage with coming from the Order side.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a tough thing to look at here. You see the left side, still pushing up aggressively. On the solo side, though, Zaylee doing a great job of keeping this lane up. You see that Zeros is still hanging out in this lane and keeping a lot of heals from that. Back Harpies is Frostiac, still looking for that. Zero's going to get the slice and dice on Zalia, but here's the thing, and this was so hard. I don't think either of these solo lane characters are characters you want to gank ever.
Sure. Yeah, both very
different. Sobek Aphrodite, why would you gank that?
Almost impossible to kill Aphrodite. We'll get there certainly very quickly. Taking a look at the Hunters here, Funballer and Reels both appear to be going for that double stacking style of build, opening up with the Heartseeker. They will still need to make up their lifesteal at some point. The popular build has been going to Valor's Gloves on the back of that, but we'll see what they like to go for.
Well, they're going for it right now. We just see mid lane ganked on Cap 2 against Silent Stout, looking for the dead side, needs to land it. Does get it though. Zero's here looking for the sell. There's the double card. The portal comes out, almost body blocking him out of it. Not able to get the hit. Zero's going back. Unstable Vortex going to clear the wave out. It looks like they're A-okay, but that's a bit of a win in the way that now both the mid laner and jungler for SK are low enough. Frostiac.
Yeah, he can go. He can go aggressive at the red buff here. There's nothing they can do. They're too low in the mid, too low on the jungler. Zeros. Only hope is the double dash in there and find the steal. Badger going to come to support, but there's not much he can do. Here comes the Gambit, and it is going to go the way.
He's aside. Oh, it hit Gab.
Yeah, Zero's in a bit of trouble, but the shield's going to save Nemesis there, and Zero's somehow able to secure that red buff for himself.
Showtimer marking the ground of the fight area by heading home right on top of it. We do see Giannis, but Captain Twig going back to the base as well. Zeros has healed back up and coming out of the base himself. Real's taking a little bit of harassment here on the left side as Exposed Secrets is very aggressive. Funballer doing a great job of keeping his team up and ready to go. One of the greatest things about this as well is now that there's a Athena on the side of Exposed Secrets, they go over right side. There's Sobek Ultim coming out, going towards Maniac. Can they get enough damage to clear it out? Ooh, there goes the hit. Charge Spray, I believe, was available, but it's like you want to dive it.
One set of birds. That's the thing, is that Maniac doesn't even have to use any mana there, really. He doesn't have to use the leap, doesn't have to use his ultimate to try to mitigate that damage. Sold, I thought, though, is on the right side. You're going to have a bit of a scrum coming out at the mid-camp. Zero going to need the death sights for his trouble, but the shield blocking most of that damage. And it looks like, let's see, did they go all one way? It looks like, Exec actually picked up all of the camps there.
All of them. Wow, that's amazing. Mid lane fight going on here, looking for Giannis, going to find that scythe, but not going to find the Exposed Evil, though. Exposed Evil is Zhong Kuei's most damaging ability overall, much more than his ultimate and much more than, of course, his base attacks or his spin, stun, Book of Demons. So the card is really the main focus of poke for Zhong Kuei.
Mark of the Vanguard on Zalia in the solo lane. Okay, makes sense. Mitigates some damage there. Zero's going to pick up one on top of his Death's Toll in the jungle. Yeah, exactly.
Today is the day. Today is the day of innovation. If it seems like every team is looking for the next big thing, he's got, of course, the little bit of health, and you're looking at maybe reducing the sourcing of hits by 5 HP. Of course, it can help with the minions. Maybe he's looking to get more aggressive, and that 5 reduction in damage actually helps a lot. Actually, adds up to around maybe an extra basic attack or two if you're trying to kill him off. So I don't know. I mean maybe.
Interesting stuff. I mean, well, so small camp minions hit him for 2 damage.
Well, it's going to reduce the damage you take from the ticks on the Exposed Evil, right? It's going to reduce the damage you take from I mean, realistically, it's just the dot, right? The dot there from Zhong Kuei is the big thing, and I'm not really sure where it came from or why it came at all, but it's there. It's going to keep him a little more durable. The question is, does he sell it early? Does it keep it? We'll see what he decides to do with it. It's also going to help with minions, right? So if he decides to get aggressive early and dive on mid or solo, he can definitely do it, especially with the help of Aphrodite, right?
Yeah,
but the thing is, why are you diving on a Sobek and a Zhong Kuei?
Right, yeah, there's not much use there, at least until you can with the ultimate against the Zhong Kuei if you catch him at the right time, and his steroid protections and having those will be pretty nice for you, but it's an interesting build, certainly. I mean, the extra 100 HP is very, very cost efficient, I suppose, and you get the bit of protection, but without any daughters really over on the side of Exec outside of that card from Shadow Nightmare, it seems bit of an overcommitment, but enough on the mark of the Vanguard. We'll see what Zeros is able to do with it. Let's take a look at the items around the board. You do have that Heartseeker finished, going the way of Reels. Fun Baller sitting on 2,000 gold. This could very well be a Transcendence for him.
Left side, they're grouping up here to clear this out. Rom leaves an arrow on the ground. Funballer looking like he wants to go home here. Zelia has finished off his penetration boots on the Beck. We got Funballer going for a Heartseeker, it looks like, to start off on that Ull. Although it could be a Transcendence. I'm a big fan of Transcendence on Ull. I think it works very well with that character. Tonic going on the rails, going to take him from the shield, looking for some more hit. There goes the Geb shield to keep him alive. He dashes away as well. Got that barrel roll going. And now we do have the mid camps respawning on both sides. Who's going to get him?
Well, the positioning from Exposed Secrets is looking good on the left side here. The rotation from Sobek looks like he's going to get beat to the mark by Aphrodite, but he may make it in time. Zalia, if his Hog is up, has a good opportunity to contest here. But no, those are going to be bursted down right away. And it looks like it will be the split, although Hog forced out on the right side camp from SK, and it was just cleaned up easy peasy on for Exec on the left. And they continue to be ahead by a little over 500 gold at this point in the game. Not able to do too much with this early advantage, but Sobek holding his own certainly here against Maniac's Aphrodite.
Yeah, well, it's hard to do so, but he's definitely doing it. Sobek's a great pick for that, right? Because Maniac likes the heal characters. He likes running Chang'e, likes running Aphrodite and Ra. And so we run Sobek. Sobek really doesn't care about the harassment because he can heal himself as well, and also reduce healing with a Sickening Strike. So Sobek's a fantastic pick against a character like Aphrodite. So we'll see how that transitions into mid-game. The birds, the back off comes out. Sickening Strike comes in and heals himself. Oh, the charge spray is going to miss, though, on the right side. Zelia tail whipping and hogging on his way back out. Maniac is still coming out ahead with the exchange, though. So, this is more just to survive the solo lane, which we've seen strategies built to counter the laning phase, like, of course, Anubis. If they don't transition to a good mid and late game, it's not always worth it.
That's true. That is very true, but speaking of transitioning to late game, Funballer has finished his Transcendence on a very, very good timing here, about 6.5 minutes getting that up, so starting to stack that together. Reels will have double stacking, it appears, as he goes into his Devour Gauntlet. Right side here, Frosty at Cup Tune, Rock and Hard places. Zeros has a nice angle on him, going to slow him down, but he is immune to slows, of course, with his Run Speed Steroid activated, and will scoot on out of there A-OK. That is not where we'll see First Blood today.
Left side, though, we do see Pain Devion actually going here for Badge, and taunted the unstable Vortex throw of the wall was enough to slow the Sun from Shadow Nightmare, keep Zeros off the hit. Portal on the ground, good portal there from Captain Twig, not even looking at him, just cleared it out and looking for some kind of push. Right side, it looks like Azalea is heading back over to have the eternal battle with Maniac. The Hunters are trading blows here on the left side. Funballer getting a little bit better off here. Does have the range. There's the volley from the hail of arrows to take him down to a little bit lower of a peg. Mid lane, Shadow Nightmare throwing out some cards here to get some harassment. The Zeros goes home to buy. He is looking to buy Boots 2 and a War. Does have Purification Beats 1 as well on top of everything else. So he does have that 190 HP start, right, with the 2 starting items. So maybe, here's the weird part, is that all of what Zeros has been doing so far is built to go into an aggressive start, but he hasn't really been aggressing on anyone.
Well, it's like you spend the 800 into Death Toll kind of always. That's the sunk, and the extra 800 on the Mark of the Vanguard, as you mentioned. You are getting 190 health out of those 2 items, but for, 600 gold less, is that right? No, I'm sorry, for 500 gold less, you can pick up the Frostbound Hammer 2 and that Heavy Hammer and get 200 HP. So if it's just purely an HP game, then there is more efficient items. Captain Twig getting aggressed on in the mid lane, but able to portal away. Still no First Blood in this game, 9 minutes in. Very ponderously placed game. Here SK now is going to make an aggressive play at the enemy's blue, but it will be leashed as Frosty is just too threatening, and the rotation is coming for Pain and Shadow.
Yeah, they spotted the rotation. Good call from Badge as well. He's in the mid area, spotting it out. Zero's running through the jungle here. They're going to find the mid camp on the right side. Badge is there as Zero's heads on over. Blue buff is being pinged on the left side. Imagined by Funballer, just say, come help me get this blue buff, because he knows it's warded. He saw them go over and ward it, so he knows it's covered there. Right campus is going to be going over as Pain Devon actually runs away here. Captain Twig with a massive ultimate, not going to land on anyone there. The mid camp on the left side is being started up by Badge. I don't think Frosty can get there in time. The Hog looks like it is available. They're popping out any second now. There goes the Shockwave. They're going to clear out with Unstable Vortex, and they are good to go here. Hog 3 picked up by Pain, but looks like Badge is not investing in that just yet. They both have their Washer's Gift and the Midas Boots complete, but the Hog 3 will be completed on Pain Devion because he is currently 100 gold ahead. So it's like Badger has some gold to spend, 1,100 in hand. What will he buy? Hog 3 and some wards.
And once again, Zalia, top gold per minute
on
Sobek. How does he do it?
I don't know. I don't have words.
He's a beast. Well, I know part of it. He never, ever, ever has to leave the lane because he's Sobek.
That's right.
Mid lane, a lot of trouble with Thanatos. He's going to get ulted by Nemesis. This is going to be a dive. No, Zero's going to think better of it, already using the shield, I suppose. Only reason he wouldn't dive there with his extra 190 HP that we've been kind of barking on this whole time here. Frostic forced to heal up a bit on these backside camps. It's going to open up a little bit of room for SK to chip away at this mid tower. They should get about 35-40% of its HP before it forces back. Pain to Beyond. Going to take some damage here. Nice. He can be in trouble on Athena. As Gets coming in, he's going to get the knockup. Can't get in a position for the ultimate. Taking this guy's is Frosty. I mean, this is dangerous. Going on Captain Twig. Is enough burst. No, Twig going through the wall. Is a ghost chasing him. It doesn't look like it. He's going to survive A-OK. And still no first blood, even though we got damn close there just now.
Nice reaction on the ultimate from Captain Twig. He saw the things up in the air. He saw that, Frosting was coming down from above. Popped the ultimate for CC Immunity. Threw it into the wall and right into the portal. A great reaction there from Captain Twig in general, and knowing that he has some pressure coming. Across the way, Azalea's been going for a Void Stone, which is going to help out Shadow Nightmare a lot in the damage dealt, especially given the fact that he's got that spear. So once the spear stacks up and then Azalea's in range, all of a sudden that magic damage is going to be huge. Lurking the Water is a very high damage ability for Sobek as well. We'll see how they transition it over. Sobek are going to find Maniac here as he's sitting behind a wall. Charge Breaker going to land. Oh, the Frostic leaves the damage buff on the ground as he runs over trying to get for Maniac. Maniac's got somewhere to go, but there goes a look at the walls. Death Scythe's got to hit. It's not going to hit, though. Big ultimate coming out there. Popped it a little bit late, unfortunately enough. Actually waited for the full duration. Athena's here, needs the dash, gets this taunt. Zero's coming from the left side. Maniac's back towards his tower. It's so hard to kill a character like Aphrodite, but again, no first blood.
Zeros finds a nice death scythe there. Now it's going to be Badger knocking him out. Captain Twig with the damage coming through, but he mistimes it. Frostic avoids the damage going through the world. Now trying to escape out of this fight. Pain to Beyond's here. And there's the first kill. Oh my god, a return second blood from Captain Twig with that ultimate. Sniping out Frostic. Now it's Zalia in the front line in a lot of trouble. Falling through the world. Is there another unstable vortex available? No. He's going to charge prey away. Reels in the meantime. Souls down. Funballer on the left side. And all around the fights break out 2-1 in favor of SK. But it's not done just yet as Captain Twig. Only one ball hitting Shadow Nightmare there. Pain is still here, but he's going to have a hard time re-engaging. He's going to pull them through the wall there. Here's the ultimate from Shadow Nightmare. It's going to be enough. Can he survive? Captain Twig, just such a good matchup against Zhang Kuei on Giannis. He pops the ultimate, you go through the wall, and you're going to be A-OK. But in the meantime, as we continue on, Reels did solo down Uller and is now getting a lot of damage. In fact, will take the tier 1 on the left side.
Oh, man.
Great individual play by Reels there.
That's the thing, right? It's so hard to deal with Reels because every single time you get an inch on the other side, the long lane, he's winning that lane, he's getting kills, he's taking out the tower, and all of a sudden, we've got a huge amount of gain. The Gold Fury is back up, and looks like, or back up for the first time here. SK Gaming is going to be coming up, and the rotation coming out from Exposed Secrets is a little bit timely. Up in the air goes Frosty, getting the dunk, going to land on Zeros, get the kill on Zeros. They get the Gold Fury in the meantime. Now Frosty looking for a kill. The Silences have the rage, needs a charge break, gonna get it. Needs a Death Scythe here, needs it desperately. The damage is all they have left. Reel's getting slowed, looking the world's got to hit, pops it, gets it, Death Scythe, does it, Reels is still alive!
Almost
amazing juke!
Giannis coming through, portal ripping through, not finding any targets, but he is going to come through here with Maniac to support him, put us some damage on the Funballer. Funballer going to eat it too. Badger now the one rotating away. The portal is going to be enough. Athena's going to ult in, and it's a full-on retreat from Exposed Secrets, but Gold Fury traded for just the life of a jungler in Zeros is definitely worth it, and real solo kill sets up so much for SK. They pull back the gold lead. There was once almost 1,500 in favor of Exposed Secrets, now 1,000 their way, but we're not done just yet. As Maniac has gone down to Shadow Nightmare, there's a lot of the sustain. Now Badger going to be in some trouble as he's tossed back by Zalia. Zalia dropping through the world. He's going to die on impact. Reels does kill him and get the credit for that there. Now taking this guy is Reels. 1, 2 shots on the Pain to Beyond. He gets him. Can he get Frosty as well? Doesn't matter. Dropping back down, putting out damage on the Shadow Nightmare. Can Reels secure this kill as well as the Ghost come popping out? 1, 2, advance, and Reels with a triple kill. Zero's going in onto Funballer here. Now dashing away, but Reels may find an angle onto the Uller as well. Will he dive this tower? He is on fire, but no, that's going to be the end of it there. Fantasy owners around the world rejoice as Reels goes 4-0 with a triple.
Oh my god, there goes the kill you need, and that's the man you rely on it for. Great play by Zeros to actually wait for Frosty to commit, and here's the problem, right? Thanatos, if you want to boil him down, is whether or not you hit your one. Because if you miss the one, you'd miss out on a burst damage.
Hold your thought as he's diving in onto Funballer. Make it 4 kills in that fight for Reels. Diving into Funball, and that Transcendence not looking so great anymore as he's just gotten routinely killed, unable to get his feet underneath him, and Reels pulling way ahead at level 16. Looking at his GPM and XPM, 450 gold, 750 XP up against Funballer's 360 and 560 respectively. Getting far behind and getting left in the dust.
Here's the thing, right? Exposed Secrets was winning this entire match up until about the 12th minute. They lost Gold Fury, they lost mid tower, they lost left tower, they got a bunch of deaths, and all of a sudden, SK Gaming is now leading this game 2,200 gold and 3,400 experience at the 15-minute mark. Things are looking so good for SK, and you know what the difference was? whether or not Reels got activated. I mean, he got the solo kill in the left lane, took out the tower, joined in on the fun in the mid fight, got 4 kills, I'm sorry. 4 kills, got a triple kill, and then an additional kill after that on top of Funballer, and then the tower. So Reels is just out of control right now.
Yeah, he's
and that was the only thing they were missing.
Single-handedly winning this game for SK Gaming right now.
My God.
Finds the kill in the solo lane that sets up the tower, that sets up the Gold Fury, and then puts out a Quadra in the next team fight. That's pretty much going to be the definition of picking the carry, and Reels playing very, very well. He's keeping it Reels.
Keeping it Reels indeed. Frostiak on the right side looking to force this fight a little bit. Maniac's going to find him. Zero's in the area. Badger is there. There goes the hit. On top of Shadow Neighbor. Good stun is enough. The Ender throws up in the air, but the Geb Shield prevents it. And after the ultimate comes up to Frostiak by himself. The burst, the backup is there. Sobek's on the ground. Needs to split this pretty well. Can he get the damage out? It's going to be up of Zero. Zany strike. There goes the tail. Going to get enough. They're forcing back Maniac out of the fight as they back away. Junkwe is the only death so far for Exposure. It's a 1-for-1 exchange. Portal on the ground. Unstable Vortex comes through, but Zalia with the save. A beautiful stun by Shadow Nightmare. A good prediction by Frostiak, but a poorly timed ultimate, and it looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange.
And now, yet another time has Reels forced Funballer out of the lane here on that ROM, keeping it Uller in a very, very awkward position. 4 levels behind Reels at this point, as well as a full item. It's getting ugly, and Reels has another 830 gold in hand, but not to be discredited here. Badger sitting on 1,500 and Maniac on 1,000 apiece, so a lot of gold available, a lot of items, kind of potential items ready to go for SK. We'll see what they do itemize into.
Yeah, the goal, right, is just shut down Reels. If you can keep Reels down, you can definitely do a lot with it. Because look at the damage numbers right now. 6,800 damage dealt by Reels. Kept to it at 8,300, but it's actually tying Maniac for damage dealt across the way. Shadow Neighbor is doing a ton, but a lot of that is just poke damage with the Exposed Evil, hitting 3 or 4 people with it. So the question is, can they actually start to activate here? You're looking at 17 minutes into the match, 8-6. Things are looking pretty good for SK Gaming, but given the fact that we're crossing over the 20-minute mark shortly in a few minutes here, and it's only 2,300, it's not really a death sentence for Exposed Secrets by any stretch of the imagination. They've got a lot of leeway here. The question is, can they actually slow down the pain train of SK Gaming as they start to pick up their momentum?
Yeah, it's not that it's all said and done here for Exposed Secrets, but with this deficit and way the game is going and the amount of momentum going the way of SK Gaming, if they are going to make it back into this game, they're definitely going to be running against the wind.
Yeah, they definitely will. And then we have a rotation coming out here. On the right side, we got Sobek coming in. And Sobek is a character, right, that doesn't really scale as well into late game as you'd expect. One of the reasons why he's not picked as a support, even though he's incredibly good, is that his transitions are not great and his late game is not so good. Shadow Nightmare in trouble here in the mid lane. Up there goes Frostiak looking for a duck. Ultimate is going to land on Frostiak. Shadow Nightmare, force him down. 3-man stun. There's the side. There's the soul wave, but isn't enough though? Good slow from Zalia. Or I'm sorry, coming out here. Looking at the Reels is on top. Got the hit. Looking for Funballer. Can't get it back off on top. Throwing Petty Body back in the tower. Unstable Vortex coming out as well. The volley comes out, but there's still 5 players remaining. The heal from Aphrodite is keeping them alive, and the Gold Fury's up. Oh my God.
Yeah, they went very, very deep there and able to disengage. Pain quite low here, as well, sitting under 50% HP, but forced to go contest at this Gold Fury. Badger also fairly low, but the burst damage from SK's here, plus Reels is just so farm to this point, doing 240 damage a shot onto this Gold Fury, and Pain's going to get zoned out by Badger. Should be easy. No, they're actually going to let him get the angle here, but the Gold Fury not low enough. They're actually trapped Pain in. Oh, yeah, he's dead. You're done, son, as Pain's going to fall here to Maniac. Should have let Reels get that kill, but hey, it is what it is. But Zalia is now lurked in the waters. SK does find that Gold Fury. Zero's in the back of the fight here, now becoming the front line with his shield active, doing a lot of damage. Zalia going to get chain slowed, but the Cream Curse coming out, dashing away, going to be okay for the moment. SK gets away with one there. Could have turned ugly very quickly.
This lineup is so strange for Exposed Secrets. I mean, Zalia, as far as damage dealt right now, is sitting at 10.7k. Actually, is going to be the second most on his team. Lurking the Water is a very powerful ability if utilized properly, but it takes a lot of setup time. And I think it's going to be the main issue for Exposed Secrets going forward, is the fact that a lot of their abilities are kind of delayed, right? I mean, Junkwe takes 6 to 8 seconds to dump his full load. You see the same thing goes for Zalia. I mean, his ultimate comes out, and you really need a lot of time for him to dump his load as well. So, I mean, you're looking at it right now. Funballer's got some good single target damage, right?
Yeah.
Frostiak as well. He's got that burst from the death side and of course the ultimate, but it's tough because they really need a fast fight. Like 5-6 seconds, end it, get the Gold Fury, get the Fire Giant, get a tower out of it. And if they don't get it, it's just not going to happen for them.
And they're itemizing for that kind of damage over time as well with the Spear of the Magus and the Void Stone, trying to take those sustained fights. And Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does take some time for their damage to come online in these team fights. We're looking over the other side, SK, you know, the Badger initiations and the Captain Trig with Reels pumping in the damage is taking down characters very, very quickly.
Definitely. I mean, full sprint on Reels. That's the only thing he needs right now. He's got Executioner, Heartseeker, Devour's Gauntlets. He's got Warrior Tabi, a lot of penetration and good attack, speed stim on top of that. Plus the sprint. I mean, you're looking at Zero's about to finish off his Chin Size, very expensive item. Probably could have sold the Vanguard there and actually pick up the Chin Size now. Purification means 3 plus Hog 2. I like the fact that we, on the other side, see Zelia picking up Tier 3 Hand of the Gods as well. Breastplate of Valor is now complete. He's got physical protection away from characters like Reels and Zeros, but also has that CDR and mana boost, which helps a lot given the fact that his ultimate does give him mana back while he's lurking in those waters. Penetration for Shadow Nightmare complete, and is this going to be, this can't be a Warlock Sash. This has to be Gem of Isolation.
Oh, Shadow Nightmare could be in some trouble here as Reels is actually going to be able to spot him out. Zalia's there to help heal, but damage coming through. They spotted him out. The ward was there the whole time. Reels missing a lot of shots, though. Shadow Nightmare with the jukes. He's missed every single shot, has Reels. Shadow Nightmare, a lot of credit there. Reels now very frustrated, going to dive in very, very deep. The team going to come back him up, and really, the Thanatos taking this, guys. This is free. And down goes Reels. They uncharacteristic misplay, missed a lot of shots in a row there, and then dove way overboard. Shadow Nightmare forced to stop his recall as Geb starts rolling in his direction, but still no kills converted for SK Gaming or Exposed Secrets through this fight. Another taunt coming up from Aphrodite. From the Athena, but Aphrodite is here there with the heal. Frostiac silencing out the team, but Unstable Vortex doing such a good job of keeping them back. Funballer actually some birds for a shovel, and now he's forced out of this fight. Maniac on the front lines is just a nightmare right now, especially with that Voidstone aura on him from Zalia when Zalia's in the area, helping out quite a bit as well.
They need to stop attacking Aphrodite's target.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Funball getting a lot of trouble here. He might die to these birds. Well, 2 more ticks will do it. He's going to be A-okay.
Very close there. Definitely a difficult situation. I mean, Aphrodite, this is why she's banned. This is why she's banned. Don't let Aphrodite get into the game, because the problem is if you're not focused on your targets, which seems like Exposed Secrets is having trouble focusing the right target here, they are just having a lot of trouble focusing anything, realistically. I mean, Aphrodite picks the right target, heals it up, shields it, and everything Exposed Secrets did to initiate during that team fight is now null and void, and they have to reel back, regroup, and try from their team fight. But at that point, they've lost all their cooldowns. SK Gaming is playing this perfectly, putting Aphrodite on the front lines, linking to the right person, and then moving back and forth and spreading the damage out so they don't really lose anyone in the process. Exposed Secrets really needs to find a way into these team fights. It's just not happening. I mean, 0-2-3 for Funballer, he's going to be their main target, but again, look at it. Sobek doesn't scale that well in the late game. Frostiac doesn't scale that well into late game. Decently, but not that great. Shadow Nightmare will do decently as well. Not really known as the best mage late game, but can actually 100-0 people against common misconception. But at the same time, it looks like he's going to be going for, yeah, there's a golden sash. This has to be a gem. I mean, is he going to go for Warlock Sash at 23 minutes when they're currently 5,000 gold behind and don't have map control?
I don't know, but you know, looking at Sobek, I don't know that it's true that he doesn't scale well into the late game, man. Like when you look at his scaling is actually really aggressive. Now, granted, his in-hands aren't going to be doing anything at any point, but take a look here. Lurking in the Waters does scale at 80% of your magical power with 950 base.
It does.
That's a lot of damage.
But that's the only one. I mean, 30% Sickening Strike, Tail Whip's got 40%. And it really, it's just ultimate, which is very long to use. Oh, mid lane, Shadow Nightmare in trouble here. Gets taken out by Reels. Another pick for SK Gaming right before the Fire Giant attempt. Dashing forward, going to find Frostiac. Zalia's in the back. Pam Diavon trying to block them off here. The portal right in top of him with a double Vortex coming through. The Soul.
Oh, that's a big ult by Badger.
Hit. Big pick up there by Badger, keeping them inside. Zalia's pop his ultimate. It was taking too long. He gets it off, but at what cost? The shield from Geb's enough. Sickening Strike does not take him down. Zalia popped his ultimate, had to wait a good 5 seconds before he could pop it to do enough damage to scare them away. It's just too slow.
Triple kill for Maniac in that fight, but Badger definitely the real MVP there. That 3-man Cataclysm was unbelievable, blinking in, anticipating the movement of the players, and catching 3 of them out, resulting in a lot of kills and a lot of momentum for SK Gaming. In fact, it should result in a Fire Giant for the boys, and SK looking like they have a great opportunity to win this game now. They have to find a way to not do what they did against Cloud9. Very similar situation. Up like this, Real's doing very, very well for himself, but had a lot of trouble pushing into the base and going for that second Fire Giant, getting caught out there. We'll see what they do this time to address that.
It's tough. It really is tough. I mean, there's this huge downdraft coming from the top of the map, and realistically, Exposed Secrets is going against the wind here with that 3 towers remaining. Phoenix is still standing, but they don't have map control. 24.5 minutes into the match, 14-7 here. SK Gaming has the Fire Giant buff. There's 6,400 gold in the lead, and every single time these team fights have started, it starts with a pick. I mean, Shadow Nightmare going down to the start of almost every team fight, and or Frostiac. I mean, last fight, Shadow Nightmare dies in the mid lane, they get the Fire Giant, then they kill 3 people. It's every single time they had to find a way to group up. SK Gaming has been in this 5-man unit for the last 10 minutes straight, and for good reason.
Yeah, and Shadow Nightmare, I mean, this Zhonghui matchup versus a Giannis in the mid lane is really hard. He has so many options. It's a lot different in the solo lane where he only has one wall to work with in terms of porting out, and you can position yourself accordingly.
Right.
With the 2 walls on either side of the mid, Giannis just has so many options to get away from that ultimate. You pop it, but as long as he's anywhere near a wall, he's basically going to get away with only 2-3 goes pumping into him. So Shadow Nightmare has not really a lot of threat that he's able to put out onto the Giannis, which let him, just continue to free farm. And you also saw some camp stall in there as well. And now Captain Twig has finished off his Chronos Pendant plus the Soul Reaver, so tremendous burst coming out of the Giannis. Where Zhonghui on the other side still trying to, as you mentioned, do that damage over time with Sobek as well. Their burst just so delayed after the initial kind of volley from Uller and dive in from Thanatos.
I mean, Sobek's ultimate 4 seconds. It takes a long time to actually dish out the full duration of that damage. Looking at Zhonghui's ultimate 5 seconds. I mean, it's just too long of a duration to get the full amount of damage out. Across the way, SK Gaming is now starting to buy utility items. You see Badger picking up Emerald Talisman, going to go into that Stone of Gaia. Support seem to be picking up a lot of Stone of Gaia recently.
Yeah,
their
very popular.
regeneration is helping so much. You got a Soul Reaver on Captain Twig, now going for a Rada Tahuti here, and it's going to be devastating once that. And here's the thing as well. I mean, you've got Shell on Captain Twig. Shell of Absorption here. So they're actually going to be reducing all damage by 15% plus 45 protections for 5 seconds. That's the entire duration of the ultimate for Zhonghui.
Sure.
So they just, the damage is so segmented, and they're reducing each bit of it by a percentage and a flat value. That as soon as they ult, they're going to heavily agility, increase the healing for Aphrodite. They're going to shell and reduce everything they take, and they're dealing tons of damage with reels, with Captain Twig, Maniac even doing a bunch himself, and then Zeros in the backside flanking and targeting single targets. It doesn't seem like Exposed Secrets has the team comp to deal with this.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point there. The shell on Captain Twig. Think about Giannis, like, what second item does he really need anyway? Right? I mean, you could pick up maybe a combat blink just for more GTFO capabilities, but looking over at Exec, they don't have the shell. You have Nemesis on your side plus the shell. It just means that you have such a massive armor disparity versus the other team.
Yes.
They're just so much more resilient. And with their Geb and Aphrodite front line, they're already fairly resilient as well, as SK starts using that resiliency to roll in to the Tier 2 tower left. And the thing about the Emerald Talisman, we've seen this item in particular picked up a lot after Fire Giant pickups. I think that it just synergizes so well with that massive amount of MP5 and HP5 you get from the Fire Giant buff. You just kind of go on top of that with the Emerald Talisman, plus making yourself a bit more resilient with more base HP.
Oh, with Magi's and his shield, he's unkillable. I mean, you just can't stop him. And the thing is, like, we're seeing every now and then Exposed Secrets trying to kill Badger for some reason. Oh, ultimate on 1 can be avoided. Zhonghui already at half HP. Burst it down. Zhonghui is gone completely. Now looking for Xaylia. He's looking at the walls again. It's taking a very long time. Look for the ultimate. Going to find Reels. Like taking a bunch for that Sobek ultimate. There goes the back off. There goes the hit. Xaylia with the tail up. Looking for Frostiak, wiggling. Up there goes Rob. 1 shot coming out. Second shot going to come down as well. Looking for Frostiak. Can't find it. 3 shots missed entirely. Looking for Frostiak in the backside. He's backing away completely, popping his movement speed ability. All 5 members of SK Gaming still standing here. They're healing back up with Aphrodite. Into the portal goes Pain, and they take him out. It's free. The Phoenix is going to go down here.
They give. Oh wow, Frostiak wants to fight here. No way. That's a great death slice. Finding Reels in the back line there somehow, but it's just not enough. And you saw kind of exactly the themes that we've been talking about for the last few minutes play out right there. Sobek ultimate, Thanatos ultimate coming down, hitting the same target, doing a tremendous amount of damage, nearly taking Reels out of the fight. But then what?
Nothing. I mean, there's no follow-up. That's the same thing. Zhonghui and Sobek are kind of in the same class, right? They have a good, strong burst ultimate, and then they have a couple abilities that are good, but they have long cooldowns, and then once they've done that, they don't influence the fight at all. Literally nothing. They don't have any influence on the fight once those abilities are gone, and they kind of just looking like, well, let's back up, I guess. And while SK Gaming is waiting for them to come back, they're healing, they're shielding, they're shelling. They've got lots of healing from, what is it, heavily agility there, as I have a little brain fart. And they're also building defense. I mean, you've got Magi's Blessing on 2 members of SK Gaming. You've got Restored Artifact going into Rada Tahuti for Captain Twig. A Cloak started up, Hide of the Urchin already on Zeros. And things are looking good here for SK Gaming. Exposed Secrets has to realize exactly what's going on in the back of their minds. But, it's not over yet, right? I mean, you're looking at 10,000 gold, 17,000 experience as well. And the overall guess, I guess, what I have is, this is a good learning experience for Exposed Secrets.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, what the big lesson here is don't feed the hell out of Reels on ROM. Or maybe don't give Reels ROM. Those seem to be the main lessons to take from this game. Yeah, I mean, he like we mentioned. I mean, you can't really downplay or really, I guess, highlight enough how influential Reels was on the pace of this game. That solo kill at just the best possible time in the solo lane. There was a fight, a 4v4 fight all the way to the right side of the map. He finds a solo kill and a tower, and 4 kills in the next team fight, and a Gold Fury. It's just such a big swing for them, and looks like the fight is getting ready to break out over here on the right side of the map at the Fire Giant, where SK had a lot of issues against Cloud9. Can they seal the deal here against Exposed Secrets?
Well, all the loads are ready to be dumped here as they're all coming forward. The ultimates are still available. 10 ultimates in the game. We got 30 minutes on the clock, 16-7. 10,000 gold disparity between SK Gaming and Exposed Secrets across the board. All actives should actually be off cooldown currently. Tier 3 Hand of the Gods on 2 players on the side of Exposed Secrets. The initiatives come out. Pantyvon going to leash this out. Look for the taunt on Cap Twig. Can't find it. Ultimate come out. There goes the ultimate to hit on Zalia. Zalia's prime his ultimate if he wants to go for this. There's a creeping curse coming out. Pantyvon to half HP. Shot Hammer already down. Frostiak up in the air. Can he come back down? He needs an execute if he's going to heal up enough to stay in the fight. Cat Twig, the shield keeps him alive. The backup forces him into the wall. Here goes the soul. Frostiak is out. Zalia dashing away. There's the roll. Looking for Zalia. Zalia's trying to commit suicide on this tower. They're just going to go for it anyway. The Fire Giant is still available. Where is he going? Where's Reels going? Just kill the Fire Giant.
Reels is all about those fantasy points.
Yes, do it, please.
He should be able to pick up Zalia here pretty easily. 2, 3,
boy.
4. Bam. And down goes the Crocodile. 3 members of XX fall in that fight, and the Fire Giant will still go the way of SK unless Pain to Beyond brings something out that we haven't seen in some time, which is going to be the clutch Fire Giant steal coming his way, but getting zoned out pretty well by Zeros, who's just chunking into him, and the team's starting to rally here as Badger keeps the aggro. Funballs is going to bring in the Athena with him, but knocked out by Maniac. Maniac takes the damage from that Athena ultimate, but SK does pick up the Fire Giant, and now Pain in an awkward position as Zeros will find yet another kill onto the support for Exposed Secrets, and it's a lot of gold, a lot of experience, 12k and 20k respectively in favor of SK. They do get their second Fire Giant buff, which was their bane against Cloud9. Can they go ahead and finish this one and push and break the base?
Yeah, this is the point that we're sitting right now where Cloud9 stole a Fire Giant, killed all of SK, and ended the game. So SK is feeling like, hey, we should probably play this really carefully because if it happens twice in 1 week, they're probably just going to disband and go play different games.
Yeah, they're going to be happy about that.
That's it. Big ultimate from Count Twig trying to go across the map, getting right back into the fray. I don't think Funball is going to expect them to be here this quickly. They're already back in the tower. This is the secret hidden power of Giannis. Threshold plus portals plus ultimate allows you to move your team around the map very, very quickly, and a lot of teams don't expect it. You can actually sweep, 3 Phoenixes after 1 small victory just because Giannis allows his team to move so damn quickly. We see the mid tower under pressure here. 5 members, 4 Exposed Secrets are here. The left side Phoenix has respawned, and they are making sure this thing stays alive, but they're going to lose the mid tower in the process.
They will, yeah, and there's really no more they can do here. They got to let these tier 2s go and just let SK get more and more ahead. The gold is kind of like I say, kind of funny money at this point anyway. They're committed to this push. They're not going to go back and spend it anyway, even though there is 2,000 gold in hand for Reels and a finished Deathbringer waiting for him when he wants to go get it. He is, for all intents and purposes, 6 slotted at this point. And SK is going to go ahead and try to get a couple pot shots. It looks like over onto this left side Phoenix, which is sitting at half HP. And of course, on the second respawn, the Phoenix does come back with less health. So they're going to go in here and take this down easy peasy before this fight even really commits. Zalia getting a lot of damage put onto him, lurking in the waters and not able to put enough. And Reels races Frostiak with a big crit there.
Big crit indeed. Pantyvon going to force the fight here. I don't know if it's a good one. 3-man taunt. There goes the ultimate. Nothing to follow up with Shadow Nightmare. Disable Vortex coming off cooldown pretty shortly. There's the beads activate again. It's going to hit Shadow Nightmare, forcing away. The stun's going to land. Zero's into the Titan. Nice grab by Zalia. Zero's going to go down. Rom looking for the snipe. Can't find it. Back in the whale goes Pantyvon as well as Shadow Nightmare. Now going to the right side tower. They're going to take this round and look for the right side Phoenix as well. 2 Phoenixes down. The Fire Giant buff is still standing strong. Zero's the only member to die there for SK Gaming. 21-8. Reels is 11-1-5, and I have him, and I'm happy.
yeah, I too am happy with my Reels pick. And let's continue back here and let's just go pick up those items. I think is what SK is saying. They've got 2 Phoenixes down. They've got them down for a little while here. No, they're going to try to pick a Funballer now, who's taking a lot of burst. No Soul Reaver proc, luckily for him. Pain to Beyond getting pushed back as well. Heavenly Agility used there, so they won't have that option available to initiate. And is it going to be enough for SK to try to tee off and break into the base?
Well, they don't really have to. I mean, they're going back home. They're going to heal up. They're going to look for Gold Fury, clear out some buffs, play it safe. And this is just very much the war of attrition. They are just tightening the noose tighter and tighter to the point where no matter what Exposed Secrets does, they're going to be hanging themselves. I mean, it's just that's where they're at this point in the game. I mean, 21-8. They're going to go for Gold Fury. Gold Fury is free. Movement speed buff was picked up here by Funballer. Frostiak still level 18. And that's kind of the story of the game, right? I mean, Shadow Nightmare's 19, Frostiak's 18, Pantyvon is level 15, whereas Badge is 18. I mean, you only have 2 level 20s on the side of Exposed Secrets. You're just now finishing the Deathbringer for Funballer.
22,000 experience, man.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's a lot of experience. That's a lot of numbers to be down,
Many
and
numbers.
especially now Reels is 6 slotted, and Funballer still trying to get out his Rage Blade. Does have Deathbringer finish, but doesn't have a very high crit chance at this point. Now, a 6 slotted Uller with Transcendence and another stacking item will be able to out DPS Rom, but he's gonna have to hit more shots. In a straight race, it's almost entirely luck, but those Uller crits will be a bit heavier.
Yeah, but he's also 9 behind, and he doesn't really have the support of his team, right? So realistically, I mean, with that 4,000 gold deficit between the two of them, Ull's very far behind.
Well, it's really only about a 2,200 gold because there's only one item he could possibly get at this point.
Sure, but at the same point, you're going to have a lot more time to shoot on the side of Reels because he's got Aphrodite heals, he's got Aphrodite bubs, he's got Geb shield, he's got protection from Giannis, who's going to split the fight with portals and thresholds, whereas Ull's kind of got like, hey man, this fight's so crazy, I got 3 seconds before they notice me. And then all of a sudden I'm dead. So he's got to get in there and get that job done. Pantygon in the front looking for a taunt here. There's a death scythe coming out. Blink from Gab on the backside, gonna get 3. Poison the purification beads there from Funball. There goes the scythe, not gonna be able to hit enough.
Oh, wow.
There goes the kill. Salia dies because ultimate even goes off. Frosty up in the air. Can he get a stun at all? Gonna down Reels. There goes the hit. Reels goes down, but that's gonna be the only player on SK can go down with 3 Phoenixes out for the count. Can Exposed Secrets defend this?
Yeah, it's okay for Reels to fall there. It's obviously he would prefer that, but
well, it's
plenty of
-1
damage between the Aphrodite and the Giannis to take out the Titan here. And Unstable Vortex just so good at zoning people out. Zeros finds that kill on a Frostiac, getting a nice crit there as he tries to retreat. Oh, sorry, that was not a crit. That was actually just the chin-size proc doing it. Funballer, another one in a lot of trouble here. Knocked up by, well, Badge and picked up by Zero. Zero's taking a lot of kills here at the very tail end of this game. Titan starting to go down. Looking very dire there for them. And SK Gaming able to take a victory over Exposed Secrets and battle back for their first win here of the European Smite Pro League.
What an amazing game so far, and SK really showing what they're made of, and the fact that, I mean, this is what happened on Wednesday. I mean, they had this, right? They had a 13,000 gold lead over C9. They won all game long. Same thing went. It just seemed like more of a fluke there where C9 was able to just take that one fire jet and bring it over. And I think that the story of the day today is going to be Real. So I would like to see a replay here of Real just coming in and show what he's really made of because, he ended that game 13-2-5. So walk us through this replay of us sitting here.
So we're sitting at the desk and we're looking to comment. Okay, so Reals is going to actually, this is the fight that he manages to get a triple kill in. And this is just very straightforward. Basically, activates his steroid and starts shooting arrows. He picks up Zaylee as he comes down, goes up, takes to the sky, is able to actually secure this kill onto Pain Devion, gets some more damage coming out as Zhang Kui tries to initiate onto the Giannis and is able to easily chase him down 1-2 shots to do it, and that's an easy triple kill. He actually goes on to dive the tower there and pick up Uller as well, making that an unofficial quadra for himself. So Reals once again snowballing very aggressively and doing a tremendous job and picking up a lot of kills and not a lot of deaths, which is wonderful if you're playing fantasy for your team. So congratulations to SK Gaming finding their first win. Exposed Secrets, unfortunately, going to pick up their second loss, but that's going to do it for us here for this game. Coming up in just a few hours, you'll have the North American tournament, but up next is the Smite Showcase at 4 p.m. That's with Kelly and Andy. Drybear, any final thoughts?
Well, it's been a great day. We're going to be having, of course, Showcase coming up next. And then after that, of course, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, which will be 1:30 a.m. CEST, we're going to have the next set of matches coming out here, the North American. As far as the lineup there goes, we're going to be seeing Dignitas versus Fat Chunks Assemble. This is Team Dignitas' third chance this week to get a victory.
They need this win.
They're 0-2. They have to win. This was going into it the 6th place team as far as seeding coming out of the play-ins and all that kind of stuff. So they got to get this win. After that's going to be Cog Red versus Ratchet there, so Thirst. And, again, Cog Red looking very strong, so we'll see if they can take it out. So the North American version of the Pro League's coming up a little bit later tonight, guys, but stick around for the showcase. It's the very first episode of the showcase. It's going to be hi-rez Kelly and hi-rez Andy.
As well to Kelly and Andy.
That's right.
And, it's surprising that in the third day of games, we're already talking about a must-win game for Team Dignitas up against Chunks, but I think they have to get this one to get their heads back on their shoulders, guys. Be sure to tune back in for that. Besides that, stick around for the rest of our wonderful programming. That's going to do it from us here from Atlanta. For Drybear, I'm hi-rez Bart, and we'll see you guys in just a few hours for North America.